Coach Amy Viber here with a little bit of a recipe. We are going to start with the Mexican rice. You are going to need a medium-sized pot. You're also going to need a 1 cup and a 1 teaspoon, some chicken bouillon, tomato sauce, and some white rice. You're also going to need some olive oil or any type of oil. You're going to put a decent amount on your pot. Then you're going to add 1 cup of white rice, and you are going to brown that rice. Make sure you're grabbing a metal, larger mixing spoon and just mix often and frequently until browned. When your rice starts looking a little brown, you want it to look similar to this. You are going to add 2 cups of water. Be careful because it does steam up. Then you're going to grab your tomato sauce, and you're only going to need half of the can if you are doing 1 cup of rice. If you are doing 2 cups, then I would use the whole can. Then you stir that in. Make sure it's all evened out. Then you're going to grab the 1 teaspoon and your chicken bouillon, and you're just going to put in a 1 teaspoon of that chicken bouillon into that mixture just to give it an amazing flavor. Stir that. From this point on, you are going to leave the lid covered on low for 20 minutes, and you just let it sit there. Do not open it. Let it do its thing. Put a timer on for 20 minutes. Now we're going to start with our tacos. This is the type of meat that I'll be using. Make sure you grab a very sharp knife just because it's so much easier to chop up any meat. I'm going to start dicing up my meat into medium-sized strips just because the beef does shrink up when you start cooking it. Now I'm going to grab a glass Tupperware and put my meat in there just so I have something to put it in and it's clean and safe and also ready to mix the rest of the ingredients. Watch out for your fingers. Always stay safe. Once you're done, make sure that you wash everything off. We do not want to cross-contaminate anything, and you need your food to stay safe. So make sure you're always clean and your area is always clean as well. Make sure you're constantly washing your hands, especially when dealing with meat. Now we're going to start chopping up our onion, and yes, I am lazy. I do not want to peel my onion, so I'm just going to cut the top off and peel a little bit and just go ahead and start chopping up my onion. I'm going to do medium-sized slices just because I'm doing it more for adding flavor to the meat. I am adding that onion to my glass Tupperware that has my meat, and I am just going to spread that out. Make sure everything is getting that juicy flavor. After I'm done washing my hands, I am going to add 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon again to my meat. You guys, I think this is the secret recipe when cooking Mexican food to anything. Chicken bouillon just makes it just taste very, very Latin. I forgot to show you guys the bottle, but I am adding Lori's into here also just because it's beef and I feel like Lori's always goes good. And now I'm adding some Goya adobo seasoning. It's all purpose, so it just gives it a little bit of good flavor and a little bit of a kick. Now I'm just spreading everything out and making sure everything has a little bit of seasoning of everything and get it prepared. You are going to want to leave this in the fridge for about 20 minutes or as long as you want. But also you can cook it right away. I just like to put it in the fridge just so that everything can get into the meat and get soaked and just taste so much better and tender. Now you're gonna grab a large pan. You're gonna need some tongs for your meat. Now throw that meat right on the pan. You don't need oil or butter for the pan just because beef releases a lot of juice and natural oils, so we do not want to add more than needed. Make sure that when your beef is on the pan, you're just constantly moving it around. For tacos, I like the meat to be very presentable just because it's on the tortilla, and just making sure it's cooked well and not too burnt. Here are the ingredients that I use for taco night: the Mexican cheese, queso fresco, and then some salsa. This is salsa verde, some homestyle guac, the Mexican sour cream, some yellow cheese. I also have some other kind of Mexican cheese just in case somebody else wants that. I have corn tortillas and flour tortillas. I also have some jalapeno peppers. This is how your Mexican rice is going to look after 20 minutes of not opening it, just letting it do its thing. I did end up adding some onion in there just to give it a little bit of a flavor. This Mexican rice is so easy to make and so delicious. Now this is how my meat ended up turning out. Now it's ready to serve. I let my husband do the honors and he prepared his own tacos and took the first bite for y'all. Look at that face. I mean, he is so happy that he married a Latina, I can tell. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time. Mwah!